Welcome back to 21 Minute Reads with me, Maya D. This is kind of like my virtual book club because in these 5 minute or so videos, I share with you my takeaways from my current reading. Right now, that is African Dance, an artistic, historical, and philosophical inquiry edited by Dr. Carrie Welsh Ashante. As a part of the Read 21 in 21 challenge, I read 21 minutes per day, every day, as an action of self love, as an investment into myself, and as a way of providing myself with some consistency in an ever changing world. I'm hoping that you will join me along in this journey by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, dropping some comments down there in the comments section so that there's an actual dialogue. Having in mind that while I have several decades of experience as an educator, performer, and researcher, I'm not the know-all be-all for this book. I'm simply providing a space for dialogue. Well, this week I read pages 204 through the end, which is serendipitous because it's the end of the year. And here are my 3 takeaways. Getting my notes. Takeaway number 1 is dragging. So cosmological approaches and concepts are brought up in this this essay by Dr. Welsh Ashante entitled Aesthetic Characteristics of Jerusema and Monchogo Dances. And if you have any phonetical tools that can help me to better pronounce some of these names, please drop those down into the comments. In the essay, Dr. Welsh Ashante references a 1981 article by Q&A that describes African dance movements as gliding, dragging, and shuffling. What I feel like is reiterated, what I'm reminded of in this portion of the essay is that a community or a society's belief systems are going to manifest in their movement, their dance movements. So a community that, or a society that believes that Earth is a hostile environment that man has to escape from in order to get to heaven, is going to move differently than a community or a society that believes that Earth has its own level of paradise, harmony, and peace. That latter group's beliefs are going to manifest in the way that they move, connecting to the earth, how they want to connect to the earth, and some of that will be things like gliding, shuffling, and dragging of their feet. Takeaway number 2 is perception. The quote reads, "Perspectives govern perception." What you gain from an experience is going to be informed by what you knew before that experience. Well, the interdependence of music and movement, music and dance movement, has been brought up in this book and several books that we've discussed throughout the year. So what I'm going to focus on right now is the polyrhythm aspect, right? So if an observer who does not completely understand or hear the beautiful complexities of the polyrhythm, they're going to be unable to see and understand the precision of the dancer that's moving to said rhythms. And that's going to affect the way that the dance is documented. It's going to be, I would assume, it's going to be a little more vague, right? It's going to lack a certain level of critical evidence, terminology, know-how, those things. And this kind of takes us into takeaway number 3, which is critique and documentation. So Dr. Glendola Yema Mills, who is where I pulled that second takeaway from, reminds us that within an African community, the dance critic position and role is a little more fluid than it is in some other societies and other parts of the world. The critic is often part of the culture that they are reviewing as an engaged community member, and therefore they have a deeper level of understanding of how things work and how things are connected. This fluidity also means that it's quite possible that critic is also a performer. I view this as a reminder and as a charge to me and other practitioners of African performance arts to be our own critics and documentarians. Let's create and continue to create access to this knowledge in a way that is meaningful, in a way that is culturally sensitive, in a way that is culturally relevant. Dr. Mills also reminds us to write in the language of the people as much as possible rather than using anglicized or francophone versions of indigenous names. And I know that that's going to take a lot of work. Or it's going to take work, let's put it that way. It's going to take work on my part. But I'm here for it, and I hope that some of you are here for it too. And that takes us to all three takeaways and the end of 2021. I'll be back in 2022. Second week of 2022, I'll see you right back here. So in the meantime, stay blessed, spread a good word, and I'll see you in 2022.